it feels as if no matter what SoaR Gaming do going into game 2, they are going to have to really contend with Chapo, because it feels like, you mentioned it before, his god pool is just absurd. This guy, he's a veteran, he knows what he's doing, and you give him the Ao Kuang and he'll do work with it. Clearly, they saw it firsthand, they witnessed it, they lived it. It was scary, and now they got to ban it. I hope they ban it. I hope they ban it, right? But if they don't, though, I mean, what does that say? Is that like just...
If they don't ban it, I need to see a different. I need to see something else, because that wasn't good enough.
What stops it? Yeah.
Yeah, they need to shut it down harder early if they do. But really, I'd be shocked if I didn't see it banned. Really.
They went for an early aggressive solo jungler between the Osiris, between the Willish. It didn't really work out towards getting successful invades and shutting down Chapo. Maybe they needed more of a rotation coming out of Boronic.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see Kenshin start making some rotations and apply the most amount of pressure humanly possible to Chapo.
Right. And aware, banning the Guan Yu, thought that Chacho did a little bit too much on the Guan Yu there. The heals were great, the peel was great. I like that ban coming out.
The laning phase also makes it really impactful, especially with the Cupid coming out of StormyRays. And now, SoaR, second pick. They're the ones that are going to ban away the Ao Kuang. Kind of a mind game is coming out of them.
Yeah, maybe scared that KhaoticPurpose is going to play that Ao Kuang. Ao Kuang just a very good god in general, so I mean, I like the ban. For SoaR, Chapo can play, you know, a lot of different things, so that's fine.
Absolutely. This is a mind game where it's just like, we don't actually care about Ao Kuang. We have so much in the arsenal. We know what Chapo is capable of, especially with the Thor, if given the opportunity to. But now with Jingwei being locked in for Cameron, we'll see what the response is out of SoaR. Jingwei definitely a little bit more safe, I would say, than the Ram.
Yes, and Jingwei, the top hunter right now, I mean, she's just so good, and we know that Stormy loves to play it also. So great thing taken away from him, and putting that on Cameron, and we'll see what he can do with it.
Batz was hovered over, but now it's actually going to be the Odin locked in for now. It's interesting to see this being picked so early in the draft laning phase. Maybe it's aware that they're afraid of being locked in. But yet again, Shaliber very comfortable on the Scylla the last game, going to play it 2 games in a row now.
Yeah, very hot with the Scylla ultimates. Those were on point. So I'm fine. Yeah, big circles. I'm fine with the Shaliber Scylla again. That was great.
And picking Odin this early in the draft, still a flex pick. You know, you don't know if that's going to be Uzzy. Even ElSoarchapo could potentially play this. Brochacho obviously has that in his kit, but now aware, KhaoticPurpose is known for his Thor. And on top of this, you're taking that away from Chapo. But look at this, Nike being locked in.
Now that's a spicy pick, because I know Kenshin has been practicing Nike support lately. So we don't know if we're going to see that solo or in the support lane. Something to think about there. Could be interesting.
Well, they're going to need something, you know, different, right? Or else you're looking at SoaR again just snowballing the way that they did. If they're not careful, aware could easily get 2-0 shut out here. So this honestly was just a really smart choice.
Absolutely. Everything is on the line right now for aware. SoaR are playing with a 1-game lead. They could still lose this one, go into game number 3 with a clear mindset. But like we saw before, Batz was hovered over, now being locked in for Chapo.
Yeah, Chapo has a great Batz. Good synergy also with the Scylla, able to let her get a more clean ultimate off. So I like the Batz pick there. Also synergizes with the Odin ring. Cupid ban there.
They're scared of the baby, man.
That was smart, though, because they picked Xingwei, you know, keeping that away from Stormy, and then they go and pick the Cupid, keeping that away from Stormy. So what option does Stormy have getting ready for the next picks here?
I mean, he could potentially go on her, right, to box out the Xingwei. Maybe Rama trying to out-carry Cameron in the late game. Those are 2 options. Any other ones that you see specifically, Zach?
Stormy can play the Soul. He can play the Freya.
Soul and Freya as well.
Yeah, the 2 magical ADCs there. And also, I've been talking to him about the Medusa. I'm a big Medusa guy myself. I love Medusa. She's great on console. So I wouldn't be surprised to see any of those picks.
But Neith is being hovered over. It's a very safe god, and what's great about it is the way Chapo plays, always aggressive ganking, and if he decides to gank that solo lane against DoctorL, we're going to see a lot of World Weavers aimed in that direction.
Yeah, and that Neith is great for that, putting early pressure on the solo lane. I mean, there's nothing they can really do. You know, if they're overextended even a little bit, Neith ult comes through, jungler ganks, that's almost a guaranteed kill. So
still waiting on the last 2 picks out of SoaR Gaming. How do they respond to this Neith Hunter position? The Khepri is going to be hovered and locked in. A very safe god now to allow the space and control that KhaoticPurpose is going to need, especially with Kenshin in that front line. Whoever goes in, they're going to get bailed out by not only Khepri, but now by the portals as well from JAnus.
Yeah, and we're really relying on the Thor initiation here. Khepri not a big initiator. You know, he wants to stay in the back line, give him some protections, give his team protections, and then ult the low health target on his team.
And now, last pick, Sylvanus out of SoaR, which means that this Odin is indeed going to go for Uzzy. Sylvanus is going to be played by ElSoarchapo, that laning phase. Now, it's going to be the Neith Sylvanus against the Jing and the the Khepri rather. So that's going to be interesting to see how aggressive is SoaR going to be compared to the last one.
Yeah, I think SoaR, and well, they've been going in mid. Remember, they've been doing the eager strat. So it's just been the 2 hunters in the dual lane left alone by themselves. So we got to look at the mid 3v3 here. SoaR, I think, has a stronger early game. Mid 3v3, but you know, if AWARE is able to catch people out of position with the JAnus ult, it could be devastating.
Well, it's do or die time now for AWARE Gaming.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, this is it. I do like the global presence though from AWARE though, right? You are going to have, you know, JAnus with the portals being able to get wherever he wants to go. Thor can initiate very easily. There's some really good decisions here, guys. Who takes game 2?
I actually am going to give it to AWARE because of those 2 reasons you mentioned.
Hey, look at that. I'm kind of smart. Go ahead.
SoaR's a momentum team. They got the momentum. I'm going SoaR.
Ooh, all right. SoaR with the spicy 2-0, or will we see a game 3? Let's go ahead and send it over to our casters. Take it away.
Thanks, Golden Boy. The desk is split, but it is do or die time for AWARE Gaming. This is it. If they don't win this game, SoaR are going to be on those console finals.
And like Zaxi said there, this is a momentum-based team. I would not want to go down a 1-0 against SoaR, but I really do like the draft that AWARE has gone for. We got DoctorL in the solo lane on this Nike. Knowing that Uzzy is probably going to take that Odin in the solo lane, we know he loves it. Picking a character, you know you can't get interrupted on that one, so that's so important to Nike's kit, as well as the fact that she has a leap, she can get out of that Odin cage very easily.
And once again, we have Chapo on a hybrid carry on Batz, and that's going to be really interesting to see if he's going to pop off like he did in the Kwang.
And he had a great game at the fall finals with Batz. He was very, very impressive on it.
Gonna miss that root there, but Kenshin still running away, just chasing after with Cameron. Gonna get rooted out this time, but the knockup. Jing saving him.
Oh, but the slow from Chapo, it's a 50% slow right now. No slow on to Crush. Kenshin still running for his life. Finally has that abduct. Back off cooldown, but because SoaR chased for so long, Kenshin's not going to be back for the minions.
And the Batz started his jump, and that's going to actually hurt their clear in the start, so that's going to be interesting how good the clear will be.
Very, very difficult, because usually you'll see, it's actually Sacred Monkey, the third ability, does the most damage to the buff, but it hurts your wave clear. You want to have that overhand smash to hit the entire wave if you're going to the mid lane, if you're going to the solo lane. So you're right, Trix, by getting that slow, you're really trying to gamble on getting that first blood, and the fact that the Neith root missed. That's the big thing there that really prevented that first blood from happening. StormyRays just not quite on the mark with that.
He should have waited for the setup on with the Sylvanus there. But I want to talk about the solo lane matchup. We see the Nike against the Odin. I absolutely love the matchup for the Nike. Odin have no interrupts. You can jump out of the cage. It looks pretty good for the Nike.
And Nike is one of those characters that if you let her go unchecked, can absolutely devastate a team. Not only does Ren do an absolute ton of damage whenever it's augmented by that second ability, plan of action, as long as you can just wait a little bit long enough to make sure you're getting that path to victory passive online, it's just such a big boon to your team. That extra damage, that extra movement speed, very, very difficult to deal with.
Secret strats coming through, interrupts SoaR's momentum here with the pause, but should get back into the game here in just a second. We're talking about these matchups. What else is Nike going to be able to bring to the game? Because this is her debut match when it comes to the console scene.
Well, another thing that you don't really talk about as much with Nike on that rend ability, sure, it's a lot of damage, but it's also got that armor break. It's got, you get 20 penetration onto a character whenever you hit them with 2 consecutive strikes of rend. And then if you use that second ability and get that third strike, you're also getting a disarm. And so if you know you're not going to get interrupted, there's not a whole lot of interrupt for that ability at all. I mean, in fact, I don't think there is any outside of the knockup for Sylvanus or Fear No Evil. Those are really the only 2, as well as the stun from World Weaver.
And it seems like it's going to be a free game for the Nike here. And if he gets online, he can destroy the backline completely. And also Chapo on the Batz as well. JAnus was like a little bit wonky pick. It's really good against the draft on SoaR overall, but the Batz counters is so hard because you can monkey him and then see you
I think I saw Cubo did that.
Cubo does that all the time. Like if he sees JAnus, give him the Batz.
Is that the sound of him just popping that Sacred Monkey onto him?
Come here.
Just teleports to him.
Exactly.
After those portals. Yeah, and Chapo very much known for his Hunbat's play. He had, like I mentioned, great game on it at the Fall Finals LAN, so I expect him to really have another momentum-based game. We saw him get invaded time after time on that speed buff. It ended up not even mattering in the end because in the mid-game, his Aokwang came up, and SoaR won the game because of it.
And we actually see the Khepri pick here as well for the first time. It's a little bit interesting. It's early aggressive overall. You get the push, so that might be good against the Sylvanus overall. I don't know if it fits the team completely because they don't have that one huge hyper carry who's like gonna dive in completely. They have the Hunbat's, but it's not like an Aokwang still.
Very true, and one of the things that I'm always worried about when I'm playing Khepri or have a Khepri on my team is separation. And Hunbat's and Odin both do that very well. You can see Uzzy separate Khepri from the team fight and allow it to rage elsewhere, not gonna be able to get that Scarab's Blessing off. As well as Fear No Evil, whenever Khepri was at his peak, Fear No Evil was one of the main abilities that people were using to separate him. He's not gonna have those purification beads. You're gonna be able to hit your target while Khepri is still CC'd, as well as the fact that he has to be worried about making sure that his dash is up whenever he reses someone, because you can res someone, but then if Shalibur has I'm a Monster waiting for that timing, you can guarantee it every time off that res if you're in range. That could spell a really bad trouble for Aware.
Both of these teams, we've seen them play a lot of global ultimate junglers throughout the entire split as well as the LAN, but I'm looking at Aware here. They've got a global ultimate jungler as well as global ultimate mid laner.
Mm-hmm. And a semi-global passive for Jing as well.
Yeah, and I'm looking over at SoaR, and it's a little bit lacking.
You got the global ultimate from Neith, and I like that on StormyRays because as we saw last game, my man is not afraid to pull the trigger on the ultimate. I mean, he was using it time after time. That's exactly what I'd like to see him do on Neith.
Oh yeah, but also ElSoarchapo was playing so aggressive last game, and this time he's on Sylvanus. I hope he's gonna play more aggressive than Aware support because he was a little bit too passive overall. You want to get that early pressure with the Sylvanus, so ElSoarchapo is probably going to bring that here.
And that's exactly what ElSoarchapo likes to do, is bring that early pressure. And we saw how much he was around the map, really didn't spend a whole lot of time on that dual lane. And with Sylvanus, it's even augmenting that clear for Scylla. Not exactly the strongest in the middle lane. And so that's why I really like that pairing of Scylla and Sylvanus. We sometimes see the Sylvanus Zeus sort of pairing where it's just so much pressure you can't deal with it. But this is kind of there to handhold Shalibur.
I actually like the Scylla Sylvanus combo a little bit more because the Scylla ult is like insta, like complete. You dead quick.
You're dead.
You dead so quickly.
You dead so quickly.
Shoutouts to Hughes, man.
Yeah. So that's gonna be really interesting to see whether they can get that off. It is a JAnus, so if they get like, I think he's gonna go for a blink. So you can instantly go on the JAnus and you get this Scylla ult and instantly one shot.
Plus in the middle lane as well, if Boronic's sitting under tower and ElSoarchapo's able to walk up, find the route, find the pull into another route from Scylla, I mean, that is absolutely deadly. Very, very difficult to deal with.
I'll definitely be looking at the pulls from ElSoarchapo. He can get some clutch pulls on the JAnus and he'll be dead instantly because the JAnus have so high damage.
And that's what we saw from Kenshin a lot, actually, is that he had a lot of great pulls in that early game, setting up kills for his team. But like you mentioned, just that aggressiveness fell off from him in the later stages of the game, and it showed as SoaR was able to take the lead.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Aware have a very CC-heavy comp running here. What are SoaR going to be able to do just to kind of fight up against this? Because I'm looking at that roster, and I'd cry if I were going up against that myself.
I think that SoaR is really relying on Shalibur to be able to hit those routes by themselves, because otherwise there isn't a whole lot of other beads burners on the side of SoaR. I mean, yeah, you've got the pull from Sylvanus, the long-range route. You've got the route from StormyRays as well, but overall, you really need someone to blow those beads if you're going to be looking for those big Hunbat's ults and team fights. So it's going to be very important for Shalibur and StormyRays to be forcing those so to allow Chapo to come in and make a big impact in the fights.
Yeah, and that's also what I mean. Like, they only kind of have the Hunbat's as CC on the side of SoaR. So how they're going to force the beat so the Hunbat's can get a proper ultimate, I'm not sure how they're going to do it. But I think they're going to look for the Neithos and like the Sylvanus ones and try to get the small forces around the map and then force a team fight.
And on the other side, though, there isn't a whole lot of reliable CC for Aware as well. I mean, you're really relying on Thor to be your only engage. Like Zaxi said on the desk, I love that point by him. Khepri, not the best engaged.
No, but we have Nike, and I've been playing it support a little bit, and the jump is like, you can instant jump, you know, if you have your 2 on. It's great.
But as support, you're able to use that 2 because you're not worried about using it for the damage on the 1. But as the solo, you really need to use that 2 to augment your 1 damage as well. It just kind of feels like a waste on a damage character to jump in and get that.
You can still jump without the 2 on, obviously, and still hit. It's just a little bit harder.
It's just like you're launching yourself into orbit and then eventually knock people up when you land.
But yeah, definitely what we're going to see out of AWARE is the Thor and Nike just diving the back line, trying to get the Scylla, trying to get the Neith, and on the same time, just the Khepri staying away, being like, JAnus, Chingwei, I'm here to help you, and if they're in trouble, he'll survive them. But the JAnus are probably not going to have too many problems, and the same with Chingwei. They both have very good escape, so they might be safe as well.
We saw Cameron have a pretty good game on that ROM last time, and really looking at him, if you're investing a first pick into a character like Jingwei, you expect Cameron to really be able to put the backpack on and carry AWARE to a game 3. But the other guy I'm looking at is Boronic. We've seen him on mostly very aggressive all-in gods. We've seen him on Zeus, we've seen him on Habwa during the season. So to have him be on this JAnus feels like a little bit of a different style for me. I'm interested to see how comfortable he is on this god. One of the things that I'll be looking for is seeing how close he is to walls. We saw Xenotronics earlier on in the day stand in the middle of the lane, and that's a big no-no if you're JAnus because those portals don't do you a whole lot of good. Let's see how good Boronic can position with that JAnus by the walls.
I mean, AWARE's early game is all about using the globals correct. Using the JAnus ult, using the Thor ult, get the picks. They can easily pick out Sylvanus. He have no mobility whatsoever, so he's probably going to be the main target here.
As well as Neith. I mean, Neith's pretty much a sitting duck a lot of times in duo lane. The backflip, very telegraphed, very long cooldown as well. So you're definitely going to have to be careful of that if you're StormyRays about getting the double global ultimate. And especially with how aggressive he was playing the lane last game, you're not playing that same sort of lane bully Cupid. You have to be careful with that positioning.
And also, Stormy have to be really careful when he's going to the mid game as Neith. Neith is a very good early game ADC overall, but Chingwei, when he gets to mid game, late game, he'll be able to 1v1 him because he don't have the best mobility, the best backflip in the world. And here we are in the game.
Back in the game, here we go. AWARE versus SoaR, same situation as before. AWARE need this win, otherwise SoaR are gonna head on to the finals.
Another aggressive positioning from SoaR, just like we saw last game and before. So SoaRchapo in the middle lane right now. Looks like just putting some ward coverage down, making sure that everything is where they expect it to be.
And yeah, I think now SoaRchapo is definitely going to look for the invade with the jungle maybe. It's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do, but they're definitely going to push the jungle, but I'm not entirely sure here.
And that's I don't really expect to see any invades, like you said, Trix, because it's not the great invade composition, right? You've got the Hunbat, sure, the slow from Somersault. Uzzy will do good damage with Bird Bomb, but it's not that CC to slows that you're usually looking for. And then on the side of AWARE, Thor pretty good at level 1, but Nike, meh.
Not so good. They have Odin and Sylvanus, that's why I mainly thought they were going to invade, but they're actually not. Instead, it's going to be AWARE.
On this right-hand side, but no one's home. SoaR rather was ready for it, gonna trade out speed buffs right now.
Once again, this is the same thing, almost the same thing that we saw last game. Gonna trade out these buffs, but it looks like AWARE once again gonna be able to secure 2. But SoaR taking a page from their book, writing it themselves, grabbing 2 for themselves.
Excuse me, but
The
Nice.
3-man knock up there from Cameron, able to secure those mid harpies, I think, for AWARE, and that's a big win because if you're trading out across the map, you need to find a win somewhere.
And this is so weird. Why are they trading their buffs? Just take your own, please. What?
I think
That's
they're
cool
expecting
kids
that
do.
aggression. They're expecting that aggression. This is the last possible game for AWARE. They want to make sure they don't make any mistakes.
And that's, and I like the play from Cameron early on. More aggression on this right-hand side, mid-harpies. Kenshin actually used his shell there. That's a big win for SoaR. Uzzy get a jump over, give him some poke for the road, and just head back on over to solo.
But AWARE actually got both of the mid camps, so they're finding themselves a small lead, but still a lead. And yeah, Odin going back to the solo lane.
Hugbug getting chunked, but now spin to win coming through. Berserker's Barrage doing some numbers, but so is Chapo gonna be running away as Chaotic Purpose. Nice pull coming through. Boronic gonna get stuck and crushed.
And
Shaliber grabbing first blood for SoaR.
And that's the grip we were talking about. If the Sylvanus finds the grips in the JAnus, he is in such a dangerous position. The Scylla have so much damage. He is level 2, but he still have the red buff on, so he does a lot of damage.
And SoaRchapo's feeling it right now. You know he's feeling it after that, setting up that first blood. There's nothing he loves more more than making a play like that. And that's a bad sign for AWARE, because if you let guys like Brochacho, like Chapo, get that momentum early on, plus letting Challenger get that confidence that is so important for so many players, especially it seems like for mid laners that really need to be on point with their skill shots. Very, very good start.
Oh, and mainly Scylla. Scylla is like late game orientated. It's not too good early game. It's okay, but late game it goes off. So getting that kill just gets her one step closer to the late game.
Oh, and by the way, Boronic used Purification. So now as soon as Chapo hits 5, he's got to be even more careful, or else eating a second death this early would be absolutely disastrous for the mid laner for AWARE.
Just when Brochacho is going to hit his root, he is going to die 100% if the Scylla is around.
Exactly. He'd have to use through space and time preemptively, basically, if he were to try to get out of that one.
Small early lead coming out for SoaR, though. 2 minutes and 30 seconds in. They got that kill, that first blood, but the farm game is pretty strong for the boys in the red trunks as well.
And that's mostly because of that first blood. We saw AWARE get control of those mid harpies, and that was important. But I really don't like the 3-man grouping right now in the middle lane with Boronic getting behind early on. I would have liked to see them make sure he hits level 5 before the next engagement. Kenshin still sticking around, as well as KhaoticPurpose.
I mean, right now SoaR is just taking all the control. I'm 100% that they're going to look for an invade on that speed buff and just take it all and build their lead.
Boronic's like, they can't still be here, right?
Oh,
there's no way they're still waiting for me. Right? Right, guys? Okay, they're still waiting for me. World Weaver right away, but great positioning there from Boronic. Touching the wall. You put the wall in your pocket, you walk along it basically as JAnus. There, Neith ultimate goes for naught.
And I mean, even didn't go for naught, though. They're able to go ahead and use this pressure to start taking out these buffs once again. DoctorL gonna turn around the corner and decide he does not want a piece of this. He's gonna let that mana camp go more than likely, just because Uzzy is right there, being a nice just barrier.
But he does have the Wrath, so that's why you see SoaR back up a little bit. It's gonna be difficult to secure that over top of the Wrath there for DoctorL.
I mean, the trade is fine. They got the speed buff. Just get out and that's all fine. We also see the Neith taking the left mid camp, so they also get that, and they're most likely also going to get the right camps now. So they're basically just building the lead and doing all right now.
But Stormy's going to lose a majority of this wave, if not all of it. It looks like he will miss the entire wave of gold. He'll get 1 minion of XP. So yes, you put your mid laner, or you keep their mid laner down, but Boronic was in base. That rotation not good there for Stormy.
For sure.
Stormy gonna have a harder time up against this Jing Wei. What do we know about Jing Wei? Like, we talk about her a lot in PC,
OP.
but what does she do for the console scene?
She's really good.
It's the same as PC, I would say.
Yes.
It's the fact that her passive is so strong. You can go back to the base, you can rotate to the right lane, you can easily go back to the dual lane. It's so strong, and I think that's the strongest part of Jing Wei is basically her passive.
Is that a fail-safe to make sure Cameron doesn't fall behind as easily in the second game?
It can be, though. Cameron really wasn't behind in the first game to begin with. It's just the ability to power farm, basically. Get those back camps off cooldown. Back, hit your power spikes as easily as possible. Uzzy actually jumps into 2 here. He's got the cage down, hammers down for KhaoticPurpose. Fear no evil coming out, but they're looking at KhaoticPurpose through space and time. Just not quite enough damage to finish off the Thor.
Missed it by the skin of his teeth, but now big fight coming through, comes back into the fray. KhaoticPurpose able to find the kill and not able to find the I'm a monster. Chapo gonna be able to saunter away with a sliver of health.
What a sick play there by KhaoticPurpose,
balls.
going in with 1 HP.
Big balls right there coming out from the Thor, landing down with 5% HP.
And then he gets out of the portal. Just,
Right.
yeah, no big deal.
Goodbye.
I'm out. No worries. Really, really heads up play there. Wisps weren't able to catch him through there either. So KhaoticPurpose looking a lot stronger as far as the actual team fighting scenarios go. Last time, like we said, he looked pretty good in the invading category, but wasn't there as far as actually ganking and fighting. That time, he didn't make the gank happen. He was just kind of there, and Uzzy dared him to fight him basically, but makes the play anyways.
Yeah, I hope we're gonna see Chaotic maybe try to look for the Thors a little bit more. He just used his ult because they were there already, but I want to see him getting the sneaky ganks in instead of just being in the fight already.
It's about being proactive as a jungler and not reactive.
Exactly.
Usually the jungler who's reacting is behind, and so I agree with you. I'd like to see KhaoticPurpose take his own initiative.
And I love what the thing SoaR is doing. They're warding the aggressive side of the mid camps, and then they're looking for the JAnus all the time with the Sylvanus grip. It's really good.
I'd also like to see them put a regular ward right there, just like we just saw, because this gives them vision for Brochacho to potentially find a pool without even walking into the middle lane. Smart ward coverage all around, both in lane and in the jungle.
And also, as we were talking about before, they need to force the beat before the Batz is really good. So whenever they force that active, they can get some kills with the Batz.
Chapo. Did you really just do that? Fear No Evil coming through. Kenshin stocking right into the I'm a Monster. SoaR looking for a second hit. Not going to find the damage through space and time from the JAnus coming through. Nice double tap. SoaR looking very low. It's very dire. But DoctorL going to get stopped by 2 members of SoaR.
The pull there from Brochacho to stop the chase from DoctorL, saving his mid laner's life. There's the Wombo combo right there. Fear No Evil, Wrath of Terra, I'm a Monster. That means a dead support. Chapo in some trouble. Double tap through the wall.
There it is. The rend, the damage, it's so much, comes through, finds the kill, and now SoaR in perfect position to try and take some shenanigans.
Oh yeah, if Aware gets both of these buffs, they're gonna get a slight comeback. Oh, he actually hucked it. That's sad, but they will still get maybe 1 buff. Uzzy will stay there. He wants these buffs for sure.
He does, but KhaoticPurpose very low. Could potentially even die to a bird bomb. World Weaver still on cooldown from StormyRays, so he's not worried about that global ultimate. You can see Uzzy looking for it, but now Uzzy is completely out of mana. He's in a bunch of trouble here.
The double tap hurt, but so does the jump coming out from DoctorL. Nike doing numbers, but not enough to take down the Odin.
And what happened in that fight is something I want to talk about, because the Khepri is really, really good against different guys, but against nuke like Scylla, you can get one shot. Not only yourself, but your teammate can get one shot, so you can't really react to it. So you really got to think ahead when you're playing Khepri in this game, because if you see the Scylla in his ultimate or about to use his 2, you need to pre-ult way before.
And it's just such a tough position because Khepri's unlike any other Guardian, because you have to be so far away from your team behind them usually, because like I mentioned, Fear No Evil is going to be a heat-seeking missile for this Khepri. That's who they're going to be looking to use Fear No Evil on, and when you're CC'd like that, you can't use that ultimate like you mentioned. And so every other Guardian, you're usually in front. You're trying to protect everyone else, but here you're trying to protect yourself, and that can be difficult to kind of switch back and forth.
Basically, Khepri is just a peeling god, and then whenever people is going in on your teammates, you're just gonna get some distance and then get ready to ult, basically. So yeah.
Aggressive positioning coming out from SoaR. They sniffed over at the Gold Fury just to clear out a ward that had been previously cleared out by the enemy team, but Uzzy and DoctorL still going at it, not really going to be able to do too much to each other, especially with the jumping abilities.
You can see DoctorL looking to interrupt that, but now that his jump is down, Uzzy locks down the cage. The big shield, though, the knock up, the I'm a Monster. There it is, the Khepri save.
There it is. SoaR still able to find DoctorL, but the Khepri with the save, still absolutely amazing. Uzzy barely missing, getting unstable vortex to the face. Either way, SoaR putting on the pressure onto this tier 1 tower.
And that's how you draw it up for Kenshin. He played that perfectly right there. Now SoaR actually caught up all by himself. Root from Brochacho there to help him. Now Kenshin's the one caught. Dashes out of the bird bomb nicely. Cameron making the rotation. Brochacho all by himself in the middle lane, but the rest of Aware just not there to follow up.
No, right now they just want whatever they can get, and that's the jungle. So they can't really get kills because they know Aware is gonna hide on the tower. So they're like, whatever, you can get left alone, and we'll just take your jungle and go farm again.
And this is, again, SoaR being proactive. Aware has felt very reactive to me in this entire set. Early on in Game 1, it was them pushing the pace, invading the speed buff, looking aggressive, and that's when they had their lead. That's no coincidence.
Also, last game it was Chapo getting all the kills and really hyper-carrying this game. This time it's SoaR, so it's going to be interesting to see whether he can use this lead and really carry his team like Chapo did last game.
I think the influence from the Humbots probably helps with that too, just being a part of every single kill that SoaR has been able to obtain for himself.
It's the Hunbat's Scylla setup as the Sylvanus Scylla setup. It's sort of the same, it does the same, and yeah, that's why they've been in so many kills.
And that's the dream right there, is just working together, mid-jungle combination, mid-jungle support combination to get ahead in the mid lane on your hyper carries. That's exactly how you want it to happen. Cameron actually going aggressive here onto 2, continuing to go in. That's because Through Space and Time is on the way.
Got 2 in the tower, though. He's getting aggressive. Here comes KhaoticPurpose. Kenshin able to take out the Chacho, and now StormyRays walks right into the sun. Going to take a little bit of damage over time, enough to keep him from backing for a couple of seconds.
They realize that the Scylla is rotating, so they're backing off. I love the call. They got what they wanted, and now they're just backing off, looking what else they can get.
SoaR trying to get it a little bit of extra poke, but again, that's the first time we've seen Aware be the aggressors. Now it's Cameron getting aggressed on, using agility to dash away. Great body block there from Kenshin.
Real support.
Eating that World Weaver.
Right. That was really well played by the Khepri there, body block, and that really probably saved him right there.
Chapo still going aggressive in this left-hand side, 4 members. of AWARE are here. DoctorL rather has the Wrath available. That could be AWARE looking at the Gold Fury.
Cameron getting out at that point. You know you done goofed. That opens up a lot of space for SoaR to try and take aggression onto this Gold Fury, but not going to take it quite yet.
Yeah, we are around the 12-minute mark, and that's actually where we want to look for the Gold Fury, and we also see AWARE now warding up for it and looking for picks.
Kenshin is the focus right now. Scarab's blessing early, like you said, Trix, but it's SoaR being very, very patient. There's the Fear No Evil. Kenshin not going to find it, but it's going to be a kill on the backside for AWARE.
The patience is absolutely amazing. Shaliber not able to find the kill with his ultimate. Instead, Cameron giving chase, but right into Uzzy. Shaliber still finding the revenge, but KhaoticPurpose with the dunk able to take out Shaliber. Chapo able to jump away, but Uzzy finding that revenge kill.
Now DoctorL finds a two-man Wrath, looking for the Valiant Leap over the red buff, but Uzzy's still chasing him. No other kills are going to happen, though. 3 for 2 in favor of SoaR.
And so sad for AWARE right there that they had the Gold Fury aggro at the whole fight.
So close there for Uzzy. Almost found too lazy backing.
And we see SoaR right now. Now they got a few picks. They want to get the war control, and I think right now they want to get the Gold Fury, but they need the ADC to be able to take that down.
And it's a good thing that we saw DoctorL use his Wrath then. If SoaR's looking for the Gold Fury, Uzzy has his available, and there's really not a lot of burst on the side of AWARE to try and contest that.
In a fight like that, it's pretty hard to see if you used Hawk or not, so SoaR might not be aware, but if they are, they're definitely going to look for the Gold Fury, and they're not, it seems like, so they probably don't know.
Not quite yet, at least. But 13 minutes and 7 seconds, 5 to 6 read the kill. SoaR keeping a slight lead over AWARE. It looked a little bit dire to begin with, but AWARE slowly pulling back these numbers.
And that's kind of the opposite of what you expect with how good the late game was for SoaR in the 3v3 composition, as well as the fact that they had that super late game composition last game and were able to pull ahead right around this time on the game clock. This time AWARE definitely starting it off a little bit better, and that's exactly what I was talking about. It's just taking the initiative and doing it on your own.
Now, in order to keep this up, though, they're going to have to eventually turn their sights to objectives. We didn't see that as much with AWARE last game. They cannot ignore them this time.
Yeah, but right now it's all SoaR. They're having the jungle control, and they really can't do anything about it. They're a little bit ahead. Shaliber is just out of control with the Sylvanus to set him up. They can't go in there.
Very, very difficult. 4-1-1 right now for Shaliber. Top of the team in player damage, but it's actually Cameron on top of the leaderboards in general. He's gone for this very early game build. Chapo going in the mid lane.
Boronic going back into the depths of the tower for safety, but KhaoticPurpose gonna get rooted, gonna get crushed. Khepri ultimate is gonna keep him from being a target any further, though.
I'm actually surprised because the Khepri's doing really good. Kenshin's making some really good ults. It's just not really paying off. But
not quite enough,
doing a good job as a Khepri.
Just not quite enough damage yet for AWARE is what I would say.
Yeah.
You've got some good mid-game damage dealers, but you have to get a little bit farther along until those are really being effective.
You take that red camp, Cameron. Meanwhile, SoaR are taking the Gold Fury. Nobody's close enough. SoaR gonna be able to take it.
Where did he
StormyRays
go?
erasing KhaoticPurpose. He wasn't even there for a full second.
It just disappears completely. StormyRays also gonna pick up the double. Finds Boronic. Cameron boxing for his life in the boar camp. Nowhere to go. Sanctuary will buy him a bit of time, but it's StormyRays picking up the triple kill.
What a call coming out from SoaR. They're really good. They realize they have the war control around the Gold Fury. Go for it, easy save. The fact that Thor dunks down to a Scylla 2 and gets exploded, one-shotted basically only makes it better.
And it was the fact that the StormyRays had that weave on the ground. KhaoticPurpose landed in it. You shoot the spirit arrow and it just boom, there he goes.
Goodbye.
AWARE need to take a note from this. SoaR went and got some stuff after the stuff. They took down that left side tower. Tier 1 is down, and now the minions knocking at the Tier 2, forcing KhaoticPurpose to go and get him out.
And you were talking about it, Trix. Neith, not your typical late game hunter.
Oh, no.
15 minutes, that's Neith's perfect spot. And you can see exactly why, just doing so much damage with those abilities as well as the auto attack.
Before this Gold Fury fight, the Neith was actually 1 level down, so I was getting worried whether the Jing might have started to try solo the Neith, but now when the Neith is 1 level ahead, he's actually going to be able to easily fight him.
Very, very difficult to fight back into that. Uzzy taking a lot of poke in the mid lane, but he doesn't really care. He's going to knock down this T1 tower all by himself while Chapo steals away that speed buff. DoctorL boxing with his right-hand side. There's Fear No Evil. Is he going to be able to get off Sentinel of Zeus? He will. Big shield there
KhaoticPurpose coming in for the stun, but the cage is still up and they can't get away because the jump is down. Instead, SoaR gonna go ahead and back off. They don't want to lose any casualties like StormyRays here in just a second.
And that's what I was talking about.
That's what
The
you were talking
wave
about.
power versus the Neith is so strong.
I'm a monster off the mark there for Challenger. Big bird bomb onto Kenshin, who still has his ultimate available. There it is. There's the revive, but the bad news for you is you're in a bad spot still. Uzzy able to pick up the support.
You ain't going nowhere, buddy. Odin's still chasing Boronic as well. The Sanctuary has been popped. They're happy with that. They're gonna back off because they got a jungle to go through.
That is such good news for Aware, though, that Cameron's able to make that big play on the left-hand side. That's exactly what Aware needed. They get the kill, they get the tower. Cameron is the shining hope right now for Aware.
I'm so confused though. How are you able to solo a Neith that's like 1.5k ahead, 1 level up? Even though you're Xingwei, you're in the counter matchup, you still shouldn't be able to do that. I think Stormy was out of position and he just misplayed that situation.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. You can see Aussie being picked up by both hunters, an item that most hunters have really gone away from in recent patches. Why do you think that is, Trix?
Oh, I want to talk about something else first, actually, because...
Please, be my guest, Trix.
Okay, good, because I just noticed it. Because the Scylla went into the Soul Reaver instead of the Book of Truth. And I don't know how I like that. You will be good right now, but later on you'll get more power with the Book of Truth. So I don't know about the pickup.
You might not like it, but I certainly do. This is the best build from Eager. This is what he goes for consistently. It is the most damage that you can get in 3 items on your first rotation of skills. It's a very, very efficient, though Soul Reaver is expensive. It's all about getting that first explosion, and that's exactly what Scylla's all about. I like this build from Challenger. He's saying that he's in a good spot right now. He doesn't need to worry about later as much. That Soul Reaver's still going to be impactful. Speaking of impactful, a huge crit coming out of Chapo, picks up KhaoticPurpose. Boronic's next on his list.
There really wasn't much to cast there because he was there and then he was gone.
Poof. Challenger taking the aggressive route underneath the tier 2 tower. Forces the ultimate out of DoctorL. Sentinel Zeus popped. Huge shield for DoctorL is going to make sure that SoaR can't chase him anymore.
But SoaR are in the perfect position. They're going to clear out these minions. They can go into the lower jungle once again, or they can start taking more towers. Instead, they're going to go ahead and back off. Don't want to get too aggressive.
Challenger and Chapo is really like shining these 2 games. Literally shining. Challenger especially this game, but Chapo being so aggressive. He's always in the backline, diving and whatsoever.
And that's, it just feels like so momentum to me. Like, Challenger usually won't Sentinel under a tier 2 tower to dive a solo laner, but when you're doing this well, he's just feeling himself. Look at his positioning right now. There's no one near him. This is pure confidence from the mid laner.
He is daring everyone to try and come, and DoctorL took the bait. Gonna get knocked up, gonna be forced to jump, get pulled instead. KhaoticPurpose gonna whip. Nobody's gonna get stuck in there. The cage is good. I'm a monster. Not enough to take down DoctorL, but the crush will take out KhaoticPurpose. I feel like I've seen this 3 times.
Cameron forced to use airstrike to get away from the Odin solo lane. Kenshin does pick up Chapo, who is chasing down the very low health DoctorL, 1 for 1 right now in the fight.
Chapo finally getting punished for his aggressiveness. Overall, it was a good call invading because they need to keep up their lead, but Chapo being a little bit too aggressive made it not too good trade.
DoctorL TPing back in under this tier 2 tower is going to force the rest of SoaR on the retreat. Challenger still looking to play aggressive, though. He's just trying to make plays out here, man.
I mean, that kill was a little bit of a slap on the hand, but SoaR, they're momentum based. They don't care. 1 kill dropping for this trade versus the 7 to 12, 20 minutes in. That they don't care, but they are going to care about Aware in just a second. Fire Giant being aggressed on.
That is a fun ball call right now,
Oh, yeah.
Trix. Going for the Fire Giant when the rest of SoaR backs. I love the idea. Wrath is not available for Nike, though, so this is very, very risky.
And they're stuck. They're stuck in this cage, and the Fire Giant is just absolutely bodying them. Uzzy comes in, cleans up Cameron, and now they're looking for Kenshin next.
The Fire Giant did all the work there on Cameron. Let's be
Exactly.
real. Uzzy just got a kill steal.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay. All right. Okay, Boronic. I see
That was
you,
hot.
dude. I see you.
Wow.
That was a really good shutdown kill as well. It's on Challenger.
Yeah, that's worth a
So-
lot of gold right now, as well as maybe telling Challenger to calm it down. With
Yeah.
where
Slow
he is
your
on the
roll,
map.
buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
But that was definitely the fumble call, because if that was a fumble call, the Fire Giant would have been done and the game would have been turned around.
Very true. Funball, the master of the sneak Fire Giant whenever Orbit
Right.
is behind. Just the fact that Nike's Wrath was down was the big deterrent for me. I think that could have really gone their way. It was only Challenger who was able to stick around, but then the teleport in from Uzzy as well, who also has the Wrath, just a little bit too risky for AWARE to continue on that.
As the game progresses, now that we have Nike in this console scene, her passive, when it's fully active, what is that going to be able to do for AWARE, and is that going to be enough to help turn this game around?
It very well could, but we're a ways off from seeing that because remember that one of the goals is the fact that you need to have 10 kills as well as having 2 gods on your team hit level 20. We're a ways off from that for AWARE, but you're absolutely right, Tiger. We could see a turnaround for AWARE once Nike's able to fulfill that path to victory. Such a big boon of movement speed and power.
KhaoticPurpose, be careful. The last 3 times you did this, it did not work well for you.
I mean, this is the first time Khaotic is actually looking for a Thor, and he's going straight back. It's pretty sad that he's not looking for more. I think he's playing way too passive here in lane.
And like Tiger said, though, every time he's done it, he's just gotten exploded. He's 4 levels down to Chapo. Uzzy using the cage right now just to zone everyone away. Another Gold Fury gonna go the way of SoaR, their second of the match.
These graphs are just going to look like this gigantic mountain that AWARE are going to have to try and climb. And right now, it's not looking too great for them. 22 minutes and 22 seconds in.
Look at Chapo just jumping in like, I don't give a damn, you know, I'm just going in.
Kenshin gets pulled back in by Brochacho, Sacred Monkey out to get a little bit of poke. In fact, teleports in and does half of Boronic's health.
Of course he teleports in.
Of course he does. You just assume
like
he's going to teleport in.
All right.
No big deal.
It's aggressive Chapo coming through, and now the rest of the team getting aggressive. Fear No Evil coming through. KhaoticPurpose getting chunked once again, but that was the Sanctuary. That was the Khepri ult, but not enough to save Cameron from StormyRays.
DoctorL on the backline. Boronic snipes Shalibur again. Are you kidding me? 2 in a row. Shalibur falls. DoctorL and Boronic still here fighting. Shell pop by Brochacho. Cage is laid down by Uzzy. Everyone's fighting in the ring. They're all looking at the Nike.
Cage fight not working out in DoctorL's favor. StormyRays going to be able to take that kill, but fool me once, buddy. You're still getting absolutely bodied with that ultimate coming through. SoaR looking for these kills or just to chase them off. Take down this tier 2 Khaotic. What are you doing, buddy?
He's looking for it, not able to find it. Does get 2 relics, though, out of StormyRays. Boronic still hanging around this left-hand side, trying to play like an assassin. Boronic just saved that team fight completely.
Oh, yeah.
Shalibur isn't killed. They're able to find the Phoenix there.
The only reason why AWARE was just got a little bit out of that is because Boronic not only hit his ultimate, but also hit his other spells.
Very, very strong fight from Boronic there. And even though I said that he likes to play these all-in characters, which is true, the Zeus, the Hopwa, the other character we saw him have a lot of success on at the fall finals was Ra, a snipe-oriented character, and you can see how much that's paid off. Maybe not at the Fire Giant one, let's be real. I play a lot of JAnus, that's all luck, whenever that happens. But right there, that was, you could see wherever he was aiming it, looking for Shalibur, and that's the right target to be going after if you're AWARE.
And now when the Gold Fury is down, it's going to be interesting to see where SoaR is going to go. I'm not sure they have the Sylvanus to sustain, and they might be able to siege down the 2 towers that's left, but I think they're going to look for the Fire Giant instead.
I think I'd rather see them push down that right-hand tier 2 tower, really go and try and force AWARE to fight you, because you want to take it a fight wherever you're not going to have that risk of losing the Fire Giant and allowing AWARE back into the game. It's a little bit safer to go underneath that tower than it is to kind of dance around the objective.
But SoaR is way better in lane than they are in jungle. They do have that's because of the globals they have on the side of AWARE. So I think it's a good idea just taking the fight to the lane, siege down the tower because they have the Sylvanus to heal as well. So just do that.
Very good point, as well as the fact that in the jungle, hold that thought. Where did DoctorL just go? Needs that big shield from Sentinel of Zeus. Meanwhile, Fear No Evil, I heard it off in the distance. Chapo zoning them away, eats about half of his HP, but like you said, Trix, you've got the Sylvanus to sustain.
Exactly, and the shield there was huge for the Nike there, and just basically surviving because of that. And again, they're still fighting in the jungle though. I'm not sure it's a good idea because they can collapse on it, but then again, Khaotic haven't used his ult properly this game.
They're waiting for one more comfortable pick so they can go and safely take this Fire Giant. Ultimate coming through from the Scylla, not going to be enough, and Kenshin ultimates himself. KhaoticPurpose whipping once again back into the fight inside the cage. There he goes, same story.
Just not the game for KhaoticPurpose right now, and this is when you need your stars to perform the most. Your backs are against the wall, you're ready to go to the finals. You need your star players to play like stars, and we just haven't seen it from KhaoticPurpose.
There is a situation where you should kill a guy with Khepri ult on, and sometimes you shouldn't, but this time they should because he got into tower because of that.
Shaliber forced to use Sanctuary, though. A lot of damage coming out from CaMeRxN. Doing some work. Snipe again! Oh, so close.
I got scared. I got really scared, but not as scared as DoctorL getting taken out by Chapo. The ultimate coming through very loud and clear. SoaR grouped up once again. Not going to be able to find a return kill for Chapo, but that does mean the right side of the map is open to go back to that Fire Giant.
And the sustain is doing so much for SoaR right now. They're still looking at like 70% HP, all of them, if not 100. So they're just going to take this Fire Giant easily.
Uzzy has that Wrath. Yeah, can we take a look at the player healing, actually, for Brochacho, because you're right, Trix, have been absolutely monumental.
A lot of healing.
12,000 player healing. That is so much.
Oh
the
my
700 crit!
That was
What?
gigantic. Boronic barely getting by the skin of his teeth. That crit was ginormous.
And right now it seems AWARE is just crumbling under the pressure SoaR's giving. Chapo is just playing too cocky to what AWARE can deal with.
Just so aggressive, and that's so it gets in your head. You think you can't be anywhere on the map without Chapo being there to fight you. And when you're getting hit for 700 off one auto attack, you can't go anywhere.
But I'm still surprised they haven't taken a little bit more advantage of Chapo's early aggressiveness, because he's jumping in every time. And when he doesn't have to jump, just collapse on the guy, you know, just jump on him, use all your ultimates on him, and he's dead.
But that's the problem with the AWARE's draft, is where's their main burst coming from? Boronic needs to use through space of time in order to do the really big damage numbers. It's been CaMeRxN who's been trying to put out those numbers, but it's been him, he's been the focus basically of Chapo with those Fear No Evils.
But they kind of needed an engage on the support, and that's what I think they're really lacking, because whenever Chapo is engaging, they don't have another engage to engage on him.
But on the other hand, Kenshin has saved so many lives that they'd be in a potentially even worse spot without that Scarab's Blessing ultimate.
Yeah, but on the same time, Chaotic could have done the same job, but he's just not using his ultimates enough in this game, or even correct. He should be looking for those ganks or the counter engages as Chapo is bringing.
28 minutes is looking pretty dire for AWARE. 9-17 experience and gold has now passed 10,000 each.
And look at that.
10,000 each plus.
Look at that player damage right now for Chapo. All 23,000, surpassing Shaliber and StormyRays. StormyRays picked up that Odysseus bow, and I like that pickup here. Not electing to go for any crit chance, just going for pure team fight damage with that build.
I like the fact they backed off of this tower to AWARE. No, they're not going to be able to stand up to it there. They'd rather fight in their home base with that Phoenix.
And not only that, but Chapo's on the right-hand side, so if there is an engage, this is the time right now. You've got to try and fight this. There it is, through space and time.
Through space and time coming through KhaoticPurpose. Not, however, the ultimate is there, but he's not there for the rest of the team. DoctorL in the back line, but not able to find the interrupt that he needs to be. He's not being that nuisance.
And AWARE would now wasted all their ultimates, so they're going to be able to easily siege us down. And the Batz is also taking down the right Phoenix.
Got the right Phoenix almost. One more auto will do it. He's going to try and trade into him!
Gosh.
Are you kidding me, Chapo? 535 erases CaMeRxN.
They left him completely alone. He took the tower, he took the Phoenix, and now SoaR are looking to take the last one and possibly the Titan.
And Odin is so good in this sieging as well, because he have his shield, so they're going to be able to easily take the Titan now.
Fear No Evil still available for Chapo as well. They're looking for it. SoaR Gaming looking to go to the finals. KhaoticPurpose Rez right into the Fear No Evil.
It's a nice play coming through, but it's not going to be enough. SoaR have completely surrounded this Titan. With a couple of more hits, it's going to be SoaR Gaming moving on to the console Smite finals.
I mean, I've seen a lot of things in PC, but a guy like Chapo, like, holy... You know the word,
yeah.
But he is playing so aggressive, but he's doing it so well, so calculated. Sometimes a little bit of luck. The crits might be lucky, like in the last trade here.
Just a bit.
But still, he's doing it so well, and he's doing it time to time.
And it's not only that, but it's the shot calling. It's the ability to move his team around the map, know where they need to be at all times, and just the confidence. I mean, like you said, sure, the crits are a little lucky, but you got to have the confidence that they're coming for you whenever you're throwing that ability. Chapo just played absolutely lights out.
But on the same time as well, you have ElSoarchapo, who's playing as aggressive, and he's going to help him out if he's in a bad position. But Chapo is like unstoppable anyways. He's going to go way further back.
I mean, every single person on SoaR deserves a shout out, really. Shaliber had a great early game on Scylla. We saw StormyRays make a lot of plays, then get soloed, but we don't have to really talk about that. SoaR as a whole, really, really strong performance from them.
SoaR moving on to the finals, but Allegiance and Eager are going to be tomorrow. But I think there's a couple of analysts over at that desk who want to talk about what they just saw.
So much Ty, and yes, this certainly has been quite the series for SoaR. This squad looks dominant on another level. The way that they've been playing, you know, Zaxi, I want to start with you here. The Chapo show, if we want to call it that, he's just been a superstar.
I mean, that's what it was. You saw Chapo literally just going in, picking someone out, and just taking them out. With those huge crits you saw at the end, he 1v1 Cameron, a late game Jing Wei on their right Phoenix, and soloed him. And he was just doing whatever he wanted around the map, and that is when Chapo is at his scariest. He shot calls so well, moves around the map so well, and it spells disaster for the enemy team.
And this is the replay with the Han Batz, and it doesn't matter if it's the Ao Kwang or the Han Batz to get those crits. He's always going to make a big impact for SoaR. He is the key to SoaR Gaming's success, and he is the reason they won 2-0, and he is the reason they made it to the finals.
Well, the good news is we're going to hear from the man himself. Chapo is down on the stage with Rain Day. Take it away.
Chapo, you know, you're one of the few people in this arena that's actually shorter than me, but I feel like you make up for it in the arms right here, buddy. You're gunned out. Look at this stuff. Show the ladies in Twitch chat. That's all the hot chicks in Twitch chat. Dude, great game, great stuff. Han Batz, things went well for you and your team.
Yeah, I mean, the Han Batz was good. Honestly, I feel like the MVP of those games was my support, but, you know, I just followed up.
So you're talking about your teammates being so key to your success. How do you guys take the mentality of playing as a team into your games, into your practices, your preparation for this event?
Well, you have to have the same mentality. You got to be hungry. If your teammates aren't hungry, I mean, for me, just don't even play. Don't practice, don't show up. If everyone is, you know, the same and hungry, you'll do whatever it takes to, you know, be #1.
It seems like you have the drive. It seems like you guys are syncing, clicking. It's the last game of the event. It's kind of lonely here, but it is lonely at the top. You guys are in the finals now. Only 2 teams are going to be there. How are you feeling going into the finals?
I feel like it's probably going to be a 3-0, the way we're playing. I feel really good, feel comfortable playing with my team right now. Just everything feels smooth.
Awesome, man. Is this your first HRX?
Yeah, I mean, I came, but never played.
Awesome. How's it feel?
Feels great. Feels amazing. Dream.
The dream. All right, man. Well, congratulations on going to the finals. We look forward to seeing you in the next couple of days. All right, give it up for Chapo here. All 3 of them. All right, that's going to do it for us to wrap up today. The hi-rez Expo presented by Twitch Prime is going to be finishing off, but we'll be back tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. We start the red carpet, and 10 a.m. we get going with some more Smite. So stay tuned, stick around, and we'll see you in the morning.